song, girl, let's come together as one. They say you're not there, we stand, if I there, we fall. If we not celebrate, we do it for you. Voila, you forget it. You from Lova Country, you from Maryland. Voila, you from Rewa Sess. I'm a bad that way, oh, young people, I have a funny fine way. Tabila, Kriwako. I love Liberia, oh yeah, yeah. Free land on liberty, Liberia, oh yeah, yeah. Ah, oh yeah, yeah. I love Liberia, oh yeah, yeah. They play for me and you, Liberia, oh yeah, yeah. Ah, oh yeah, yeah.
I was raised in the swamp, but I chilled with my guns. Kept it on the low, but we fought for the bone. True son of the soil, I'm a prince in my own. Never gonna lie, me, I love LIB. Even though it's far, when we show we can face it. It's not a prophecy, I know that we can rise again. Holding my hand, I holding your own. United, we stand, divided, we fall. So that's what they say when I come with ball. When I chill on that side, and I get no bro. I got L to the O to the V and the E. If we fighting together, we can conquer this team. From the east to the west, then waving the flag from the north to the side. Yeah, that's joining the team. You go where you pella, you love my crown. Who kill it? Who got shown up?
I love Liberia, oh yeah, yeah. Free land on liberty, Liberia, oh yeah, yeah. Ah, oh yeah, yeah. I love Liberia, oh yeah, yeah. They play for me and you, Liberia, oh yeah, yeah. Ah, oh yeah, yeah.
Mama was born, yeah. Papa was born, yeah. They hold us together, the honey boy, yeah. Nabali kena koya bake na papa kubo. Nabali kena koya bake na papa kubo. Nabali kola koge na papa kubo. Nabali kola koge na papa kubo. La biro waka poma o. La biro waka ma o. Balanda anwa waka ma o. Anwa
From the east to the west, north to the south, girl, let's come together as one. They say you're not there, we stand, if I there, we fall. If we not celebrate, we do it for you. Voila, you forget it. You from Lova Country, you from Maryland. Voila, you from Rewa Sess. I'm a bad that way, oh, young people, I have a funny fine way. Tabila, Kriwako. I love Liberia, oh yeah, yeah. Free land on liberty, Liberia, oh yeah, yeah. Ah, oh yeah, yeah. I love Liberia, oh yeah, yeah. They play for me and you, Liberia, oh yeah, yeah. Ah, oh yeah, yeah. I love Liberia, oh yeah, yeah. Free land on liberty, Liberia, oh yeah, yeah. Ah, oh yeah, yeah. I love Liberia, oh yeah, yeah. They play for me and you, Liberia, oh yeah, yeah. Ah, oh yeah, yeah.
Master Square on the mix.
I love Liberia, certainly I love Liberia. What a pleasant way to welcome you this wonderful and beautiful evening, an ecstatic moment this Thursday. Thursday seems to be a wonderful day. We want to officially welcome you to the program Open Conversation. Open Conversation is a 2-hour current affairs program that talks about the major happenings in the country, and we are able to enlighten you about the trends of developments in the country and where the country is going in terms of political and human resource capacity building location. So today we are here again. My name is Washington Tappet Jr. and it's a pleasure being here, making my sacrifice for the people of Liberia, making sure that we are always here to provide the necessary information to the Liberian people. This is the biggest thing happening on radio at about this time on ELBC 99.9. Let me use this time to bring in my host. Let me say good evening.
Well, good evening, Washington. It's good to be here this evening again. Today is the last day in August, right?
August.
Yeah, today's the last day in August, and we're grateful for another opportunity to be alive,
Yeah.
to be well, There were so many people who thought they will be around today, but they're nowhere around. So
Exactly.
it's a good thing to always be grateful that God has spared our lives. We're here again, and we hope that tonight's edition of the show will be another fascinating edition.
Mhm.
And like we always do, first thing first, we talk about what's trending, and then we introduce our guest first, and then we talk about what's trending. So, who's our
Exactly.
guest? It's your turn to
Okay.
introduce our guest tonight.
Okay,
Who's
so
coming?
tonight we are going to have Mr. William W. Tudor Sr. He is the political leader and the presidential candidate on the ticket of the National Democratic Alliance, the DNA. So Mr. Tudor is already in studios, and at 8:30, as you may know, we are going to take our guest, and we move to trending issues. So today, a lot of people have been concerned why the National Elections Commission has not made a public publication of the ballot papers. But as you may understand, the National Elections Commission has regulations and laws. Now, one of it is that before you be a candidate, before you be nominated as a candidate, you must be a Liberian, you must be a domicile of the place for a particular period of time. You must also be, yes, you must be a domicile, you must be a Liberian, and blah blah blah, and so more, because I think this is the point from which the court had to make the final decision today that is trending in district number 11. So there is this candidate who is in the district 11. He's Nimini Twe Jr., and he is a popular guy. He came from the United States. He's a Liberian by birth. He's a Liberian. But according to what the court put out today, the final verdict, it says that Mr. Tue is not a domicile of the place, and there are other issues about his nationalities that were questioned, because the last time I saw people were carrying the American passport, that he is an American citizen. He has not denounced his American citizenship to run as a representative in the district and all of that. So these things were being challenged by the likes of what is her name, Siatana Poli, and a few other contenders in the district. So today, Mr. Tue, as per the court, came down and ruled in the favor of those people who are ensuring that Mr. Tue Jr. is being kicked out of the process, because there are certain provisions in the National Elections Commission law that speaks against this man. So people of district number 11 is a trending issue currently at district number 11. I spoke with the candidate Siatana Poli, and hopefully she'll be talking with us. We try reaching out to the camp of Mr. Niminitwe Jr., but unfortunately they said they couldn't speak with us tonight. But that's what came out of the court today.
Well, the law is the law anyway, so we hope that we can understand exactly why they are going at each other's throat, because in this country, if something happens, the court in the land or the highest court in the land has jurisdiction over those kinds of issues. So we'll see. It's good because even today we heard from the chairperson of the National Elections Commission, and talking about violence, and talking about that kind of attitude leads one to not voting properly. It leads to a lot of people having to vote improperly, and that results into what do we call it? What are ballot papers that are not how do you call it?
What?
The ones where they bust their eyes, and then the
Invalid?
invalid votes. And so she was concerned about that, and she says if people at this time of the campaign season go at each other's throat. If they are violent against each other, they take that aggression to the process. So not knowing that whatever you do in that without just marking the ballot or correcting it or even using your thumb, which is the right thing to do, you think that because I'm not voting for John Brown and I'm voting for Peter, I'm going to correct Peter's box, but then I'm going to bust the eyes of John Brown because you, John Brown, you were the one I was setting for.
Exactly.
But when you're doing that, you're also making Peter, who you're voting for, to lose that vote because your vote will be rendered invalid. And so she was concerned about that. Look at what's happening currently in district number 11, where people are tearing down posters. So this guy was certified by the National Elections Commission, and then Siatana Poli and others took him to court.
Yes, I think Mr. Twe, he posted his candidate certificate. Is that certificate?
Yeah.
Okay. He posted his candidate certificate, and it was being challenged. So Madame Tanapoli and the rest of the other people raised a concern that Mr. Twe isn't proceeding rightly, because according to NEC provision, a portion or a fragment of the position of the position or the, how you call it, whatever, from the National Elections Commission, Mr. Tue is not a domicile of district number 11, but Brosville, something like that. And more besides, he holds an American passport. These are concerns that they raise, and a couple of concerns as well were being raised. So today,
anyway, the court doesn't go, looking for cases. So if he registered as a Liberian and he was certified by the National Elections Commission, it had to take somebody in the district where he was contesting.
But NEC ruled.
That's what I'm saying. Somebody had to, lodge his complaint. Somebody had to have a case with him before NEC, can rule in such a case.
Yes.
So even though he spent money, he did this, he did that, but somebody went against, somebody lodged a complaint, a formal complaint, and that was looked into by the National Elections Commission, right? And the NEC ruled
in his favor.
In his favor.
The Supreme Court overturned the ruling.
Okay, so that's the highest court in the law, in the land. Sorry, so to avoid all of these things,
so
spend a lot of money, but it is what it is. If you want to run, you have to come and be domiciled for a certain number. A certain number of time or amount of time before you
at least maybe 3 years, 5 years
attempt
exactly. So people coming from elsewhere, maybe 6 months, 8 months, and they don't understand the intrinsic behavior pattern of the district. You come into the district.
It's not about understanding that. You must live there to know the people. And if you don't go by the law, and somebody understands that and they see that you didn't do the right thing, it's their right to take you to court.
And that's just what the date. So Sia will be speaking to her very shortly, maybe for 2 minutes. So Sia, if you're listening, you can call the numbers 0880-514-096. Is she on?
No, this phone even looks like nobody put it on charge today. So let's talk about other trending issues. If she calls, we're gonna get back.
Is it on?
But let's talk about other trending issues.
Okay,
and then
so
it started.
Yeah. So, as you may know, that there is this leak audio about the Senator Johnson. He was being heard discussing former Vice President Joe Boyka. So he was putting Jeremiah Kuhn. But I listened to the audio clip, the leak clip, and what it shows or what it demonstrates to me is that.
Can we listen to the clip?
Yes, let's listen to the clip.
I want you to be careful. But I want you to be careful. We are fighting for Nima Kante to take the lead, and Nima will win in the name of Jesus. Basa with us, Bapolu with us, Bombing with us, Lofa with us, Bon Kante with us. What is your problem? Then you on the radio on me. Hey, my brother, what I do?
All right.
You gotta change because you alone, your voice cannot cover the whole berege. We're fighting for you. Equals our mama. Nimba will win. Abio bato. Abo make a paper a cocarozi. Kwaze boom, and we did it. We are fighting for you. We're begging you people. If you make the man disgrace, or it will be good for you. When you turn to the man against our prayer for you to produce vice president, the woman is old. He take Kun to be vice president. When we win, then I could be doing the job for you. Can he go everywhere? No. The woman is old. He take Kun to be vice president. When we win, then I could be doing the job for you. Can he go everywhere? No. Then I could be doing the job. I want you to be careful. We are fighting for Nima County to take the lead. And Nima will win. In the name of Jesus. Basa with us. Bapolu with us. Bombing with us. Lofa with us. Bon County with us. What is your problem? Then you on the radio on me. Hey, my brother. What I do?
All right.
You gotta change. Because you alone, your voice cannot cover the whole berege. We're fighting for you. Equals our mama. Nimba will win. Abio bato. Abo make a paper a cocarozi. Kwaze boom, and we did it. We are fighting for you. We're begging you people. If you make the man disgrace, or it will be good for you. When you turn to the man against our prayer for you to produce vice president, the woman is old. He take Kun to be vice president. When we win, then I could be doing the job for you. Can he go everywhere? No. The woman is old. He take Kun to be vice president. When we win, then I could be doing the job for you. Can he go everywhere? No. Then I could be doing the job for you. Can he go everywhere? No.
Okay. So you listen to a former vice president. No, let me say former vice president. You listen to Senator Johnson. You see what I understood from what the senator said.
I think Sia, is calling. Maybe you can, talk to her for at least 2 minutes,
At least
and
2
then
minutes.
we get back to this issue.
Sia, good evening.
Hello.
Good evening.
Good evening.
How are you and how are you doing?
I'm okay, thank you.
How is your district?
Well, lately the district was not okay. There was some form of electoral violence being perpetrated against us since the Supreme Court ruled in our favor this afternoon.
Okay, and that's why we called you. So, what happened with Mr. Tue? And let's listen to you when you guys were at the Supreme Court today.
Yeah, when we were at the Supreme Court overturned next ruling and disqualified Mr. Tue from contesting in district number 11.
So, what is the current atmosphere in the district right now?
It was very tense. Our flyers, our banners were being torn. His supporters blocked all of the entrances to the district, from Barnumsville up to Carwell, Deesville, all over. They were perpetrating serious electoral violence. As I speak to you, I'm currently out of my house and out of the district.
Is there a sign of the presence of the Liberia National Police?
Yes, to the best of my knowledge, the police are doing their best they can to put the situation under control.
Are they after you or what?
Yeah, they're after me and Latvia Group. That we were the ones that complained Mr. Thomas meaning Tue.
So because you guys were the ones complaining, that's the reason why they're after you. And why? What do you think? What do you think? How can you describe their anger? Is it brutal or what? Is it insultive, abusive?
I mean, everything. They're being lawless. I'm kind of surprised that someone who wants to lead the people, someone who wants to be a lawmaker, will go this way. Liberia is a country of laws. Now, the Supreme Court has the final say when it comes to interpreting our law. from the initial stages, we were denied at next. All of the rulings were in his favor. And I remember the last ruling that Meg did. He paraded from town all over the district rejoicing. And then we took the appeal to the board of commissioners. They also ruled in his favor. But we did not get tired until we went at the level of the Supreme Court today, that the ruling came down in our favor. So I'm taking it back.
So, Sia,
yes.
What did they say? What did he do wrong? How did it go against him?
The thing is, we filed 2 complaints against him. The issue of having dual citizenship, and under the new Alien and Nationalization Law, Section 4, you must be able to renounce 1 year before making an application to the Election Commission. So we flagged that issue.
Did he do that?
He failed that.
Okay.
Yeah, and another one is he's not domiciled in the district. He currently resides in Louisiana, which is district number 1. Yes, based on all of the evidences that were presented and the rulings from NEC, the Supreme Court overturned that decision today in our favor.
Okay. Did I hear you say that he should have denounced one of his citizenship a year before the elections?
Yes, before making an application to the National Elections Commission.
Okay. Thank you, Sia. We hope that the police takes charge of what's happening in your district.
Thank you for the time.
Thank you very much, Sia.
And let it be known that we tried to get in touch with, what is his name?
Mr. Nimenitwe.
And they have refused to speak to us.
Exactly. So you listen to the clip, Senator Johnson. You know, this thing about Senator Johnson's political marriage with former Vice President Joe Boyka, I see it to be out of political ego and selfishness. Every time you listen to the senator, he always speak about, a political overthrow. And he wants to use Mr. Boyka as the lamb, the sacrificial lamb, that Lofa should support their own overthrow. And owing to the fact, knowing the character of this man, he's politically obsessed when it comes to his financial and his political, obsession. So these are things that Senator Johnson thinks about every day. How can he be able to reach the presidency? So since he contested in 2005, he did not make it for the presidency. So Senator Johnson wants to get to the presidency through whatever means. So he's using Jeremiah Kuhn. Listen to what he just said. That the man is old, he will not be able to walk, and this, that. Jeremiah Kuhn will be doing all of the responsibilities and assignments, and Mr. Boyka will just be sitting down, and this time, and blah, 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 blah. So the people of Norfolk County have got to be circumspect. They need to be serious, and they need to look ahead of them. The person they are dealing with, the person they are working with, it's not the person they think they're supposed to have established this political relationship with. Senator Johnson is not in the good interest of Mr. Boyka. Let's be honest here. This is absolute deception and hypocrisy. This is what this man is doing. So tomorrow, he is going to use his political son on Jericho. If you listen to he said he spent months. He was the one who negotiated for Senator Lawrence to have been removed from the list, because she should have been the running mate. But because he's doing it in his own selfish political interest, so that he gets to the executive mansion, he doesn't care. So he wants to use the old man who he believes. The last time he spoke to one of our sister radio stations, he said, this man is old, this man is ungrateful. Then how come this same man politically somersaulted to support this old man that he castigated and said all kind of derogatory things about? Senator Johnson is in no good way a good representation and in no good political alliance with the Unity Party. The Unity Party must be careful. They must be careful. Senator Johnson is a political desperado. And I just think this is what he's doing. He's applicating his political desperate attitude. This is what he's doing. So the people on Nima don't celebrate that thing. Your senator is saying that he's blah 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 blah. The people on Lofa, you people have been used as the scapegoat. Give your vote to Mr. Boyka. Give it to him. Give your vote to Mr. Boyka. Tomorrow, Senator Johnson wants to take over the mansion through his son. What is his name? Jeremiah Cole. So you see the hypocrisy and the deception. This is unfair. Mr. Boyka has not been treated well by what is his name, Prince Johnson, and he thinks that he can dance with the devil to get to the mansion. So Prince Johnson is using the devil's strategy to undermine, the political quest of Mr. Boyka.
You couldn't have said it any better. It's not Senator Johnson alone. It's Senator Johnson along with Senator Jeremiah Cohn.
His son.
Because we heard Senator Cohn in another leaked video who said also that the Pape brains going down. He said he could only support Senator Ambassador Boyka in 2017 because mind you, he left. He was the only person from the MDR who supported Joseph Yoman Boyka in 2017. You listened last night to Representative Cargon. Representative Cargon said, Senator Johnson is against me today, but he did not do that to Senator Cohn when he supported the Unity Party in 2017. When I asked him why he didn't do that, he said the man was hustling. That is the answer he gave to Representative Cargon at the time. He said that man go on outside to hustle. So it tells you that Senator Johnson is not who he says he is. Because if you are scheming on people every time and you claim to be a man of God, it's sad. And you think that you can scheme your way to the presidency, it's just a sad story. So Jeremiah Cohn also knows that he does not support Ambassador Boyka, but he sees that as an opportunity, to get to where he thinks he can get at the expense of the Liberian people, at the expense of the people of Lofa County. That is what he's doing. And he has somebody who is readily ready. And that person is Senator Johnson, who will do anything, absolutely anything, to get to the presidency. And if it causes him to do whatever. And the thing about it is, God cannot sleep. You cannot portray yourself as a man of God and you're doing a lot of things in the dark. God has a way of exposing you. Senator Johnson, in that interview, he was talking to the man who the president made,
The mayor.
And these people are not ungrateful to His Excellency. In as much as they have respect for Senator Johnson, they are not ungrateful to His Excellency. That's one. Two, they know that Senator Johnson is not doing this because he loves the people of Nimba County. Because Senator Johnson, throughout his 9 plus 9 is 18. This is his 18th year at the Liberian Senate. The people of Nimba County have not benefited anything from him, in real essence. The people of Nimba County only know that Senator Johnson has a university or a college, a university or a college in that county, and they're paying $8 per credit.
So he and his family.
But everything that they do, he claimed to do for them, they don't see anything, no tangible from Senator Johnson. There is no tangible. And when he called, when we had former Representative Yelu on the show, when he called, he could not point to anything that he has done for the people of Nimba County. And this is a reality that the people of Nimba County have seen, and they have chosen, a person who has decided to help them to make their lives better. And that is something he can't stomach that. He feels that he is the town chief, and when he crows, he's a rooster in Nimba County. When he crows, nobody should say anything. And because all of those things that he's doing, they're coming to light now, it hurts him so much. That is why he takes a telephone and he will call somebody, he will call another person, and he will rain insults at that person. And he will just, he thinks that person that audio will not leak. I'm not sure what tactics he's going to use. But again, as you said, this is for the people of Lofa County to open their eyes.
This is the trap. You understand? This is the trap being set by Senator Johnson and the conspiracy political theory being applied by Senator Kuhn and Senator Johnson. You just said it right. And I am sure that the folks from the ALP, those guys who left, I think these were things they were seeing. These were things they did not want to support the political dynasty, that continuity of Senator Johnson from the Senate just in government. They did not want to support that. So that is the reason why they had to leave. So the people all over Kante, you people got to be mindful, because to where Joseph Boakai has been driven, he is in
the lion's
bubble.
Okay, we're
honestly
already out of time.
I
tried to, get in touch with Councillor Lafayette Gu to hear from him also concerning what Sia said.
Yeah.
But
We'll
he's
talk
not
to him
picking up
tomorrow,
his phone. So let's go to the lines now and hear from you, because our guest is already here. We have to go to him. 080514096 is the number to call, and you will be live on
Open Conversation
on ELBC Radio. Let's take our first caller.
Good evening. Go ahead, sir. What's your name and where you call from?
Yeah, I'm calling for Lupita.
Go ahead. You have a few seconds.
Yeah, but I think I listen to yours, like, Senator behaving like, the elderly woman and the young man. So the young man will love around, go around the elderly woman because the elderly woman got property. So not loving the elderly woman because the elderly woman or because of the property and around the woman. When the woman no more around to take the property. Shabbat Senator is doing. He go around for that because he know that the woman is full, but he will take power.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. We don't have the luxury of time, please. Sorry. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah. I mean,
You got 30 seconds. You got 30 seconds.
No problem. I should be talking at 30 seconds already. Yeah, thank you for the program, and I listened to the other play. Senator John, as a former warlord who has tried to become president in the country, choose several means who could not obtain the presidency democratically. He sees this opportunity as opportunity to cling to the presidency, and that is why the people of Local can have to open their mind. They have to open their eyes to see. They have to see better. There's not a help that he's given the United Party, but the United Party, like Vice President Boga, former Vice President Boga, said he's going to dance with the devil. So we should not give him the opportunity to dance with the devil. Only what he needs to be with
Thank you. 30 seconds. Thank you. Good evening.
Yeah.
Good evening, sir. What's your name and where you call from?
Hello, good afternoon.
Good evening. Go ahead.
Yeah, okay, thank you very much. I'm calling from Grand Jude.
Go ahead from Grand Jude.
Is this Paul?
Yeah, Paul, today. This is Paul.
Yeah, let's hear you.
Yeah, so what I'm very keen about is this issue of this proximity clause on the National Elections Commission. Yeah, Paul.
Hey, Paul, stop listening to the monitor now. Listen to the phone.
Okay, so what I'm very much concerned about is that the media has not been able to respond to has to do with this issue of this proximity clause. You must live within the confines of where you want to represent for like 10 years and so. And there was a case from Conabo where the youth... Hello?
Oh, you're alive. Go ahead.
Hey, Paul, man.
Good. Where the youth from Conabo raised that issue, and National Elections Commission says that the youth is not a recognized institution, so to threw that case out. But apart from that, there are several other issues like that where people don't live within the proximity of their constituents. So it's across the country. But if you are refereeing a game and somebody from the outside say he has protest, there is this tendency that the referee want to protect his or her integrity and the decision. So how do we go about it? Is there any way that there can be a change in this particular? Because like a lot of them don't live around here. But as we speak to you, there are people from America who are confessing they are not even here in the country today.
Did you listen to Sia? She says that if you, according to the NEG law, if you want to, participate, you have to denounce one citizenship, and then you have to do that 1 year, before you register at the National Elections Commission. So there are procedures you have to follow. Maybe those people follow those procedures, so we don't know about that. So we can speak to that.
Thank you.
Okay, good. That's good. I'm not worried you at that. But again, that has to be referred to the national elections. Even though
obviously
going into the process, but these are questions that are unanswered today. Thank you very much.
Exactly.
I'm not sure we're taking.
I'm not sure we're taking any calls because the case is already here. And we're not even taking a break.
No, let's just go.
Okay. So let's start up like this. Mr. Tudor, good evening and welcome.
Yeah, good evening.
Back three. Yeah, let's get them up. Okay. You're good.
Okay. Good evening.
Welcome, sir.
Uh-huh.
How are you doing?
Oh, I'm good. I'm good. It's a little stressful, but we okay.
We should talk about stressful. What do you mean?
You know, moving up and down, sleep, having like 2-3 hours sleep a day. So, you know, this is what you got to do.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
Because you want to lead the Liberian people, so you have to be energetic.
Exactly.
So, Mr. Tudor, can you tell us, who are you?
Thank you. First, good evening again to everyone in here, and good evening to your listening audience. My name is William Tweeder. I'm a Liberian, 100% Liberian. And my parents are both from Grand Crew County.
Okay.
I was born in Yekepa, County. So, of course, I'm also a Liberian citizen by birth, something I'm proud of, too. But most especially, Liberia come first for me.
Okay.
So I'm a Liberian 100%, something I'm proud of. Yeah. I was raised in a Christian home.
Okay.
My father, the late Reverend John T. Tweeder, was a Methodist minister.
Okay.
And my mother, of course, was a market woman.
Okay.
And I consider myself a market boy.
Okay.
Because I came from school, high school, and I went in the market with her, me and my siblings, and we helped sold the Kaflea.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah. Your personal life.
Yes, yes.
You married, children.
Yeah, I'm coming there.
Okay.
I'm married to my beautiful wife, Jeanette Renee Tweeder. We've been married for 32 years now. We have 6 children. 4 girls and 2 boys. And we stay going strong. My kids are great, and I'm proud of my children.
That's good, Mr. Tweeder. So let's talk about what ignited you to have a say in the Liberian politics at about this time.
Sorry, before that question, let me just jump in there. Where is
Okay.
your family?
Well, my kids are in the U.S. I have 1 daughter here.
Okay.
And my wife is currently in the U.S. as well. She'll be here by the end of the month.
Okay. So let's talk about what say do you have in the Liberian politics at about this time. What ignited this, Mr. Tweeder?
Like many of our citizens out there, right?
Okay.
I've been involved quietly in Liberian politics for 30 years or so. I help a lot of politicians in this country, not just morally, but financially as well. And in hope of them, bringing good governance to our country. Just like many of our people out there who would go out there and support these politicians in hope of them bringing good governance for the Liberian people. And today, many of our people are tired, including myself. And it came one time about 6 years ago. I said, I'm not going to support anyone anymore. God has blessed me with the opportunities, and I'm going to do it myself because I think I can do it right. Then many of these people that I've been supporting since 1997.
Who are some of them?
Well, I won't want to say much, but let me just be plain with the audience because they want to know. I supported General George Washington, former Army Chief of Staff. That was 1997. Ambassador Winston Tutner, a good friend of mine. Of course, I supported him in 2005, 2011 as well. President Ware came to me in 2000 2011, wanted to contest the presidency, and I persuaded him to run as vice president of Winston Tubman. It was I who cemented their ticket for the two of them, because I believe in democracy, and I believe that it's good to have parties going after elections. So by that time, it was just the Unity Party. So I thought we should help the other sides to put up a vigorous fight against the Unity Party. So I put those two together, and we had the election in 2011. And besides, I supported some representatives and senators as well, not just morally, but financially.
Great. What do you do for a living?
I'm a small businessman, and I also work with many agencies in the U.S. And you have to forgive me, I can't really say, but I'm a small businessman.
Small businessman doesn't support presidential candidates. What kind of business do you do?
Well, listen, my status, I consider myself a small businessman, and I will leave it as that, please.
You're a small businessman. You are claiming to have supported a lot of presidential candidates, and that's what gives you the urge now to want to run, because I'm sure they have not met your expectations.
Not just my expectation, but the expectation of the Liberian people.
That is for the Liberian people to say, sir. But I want to know, what kind of business do you do? Because if you want to lead this country, Liberians, it's incumbent upon you to tell the Liberian people what kind of business you do.
Well, the truth of the matter is, I'm into sales.
Okay.
Yes, I'm into sales. And I'll give you an example. Since you want that, I do international sales business. And I also work with.
What are you selling, Toka Flair?
Yes, but I do big sales with military and stuff like that.
Oh, okay, great. So you would say I didn't want to forget my thoughts on that. So you supported other people to be presidents or lawmakers, and they didn't meet your expectations, and so you jumped into the race, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Because, like I said, and you said the Liberian people, they have to say it, but I got to tell you, speaking to many Liberians across this country, they have not met their expectations either.
Okay, and you think you can do that?
Definitely, without any questions.
How do you intend to do that?
Oh, great.
Okay, let's talk about it.
Today, our country is 176 years old, and we have nothing to show for it, nothing whatsoever. Education, the hospital system, infrastructure, we have nothing. I have traveled across the globe, even here in West Africa. These little countries in Africa, they're all doing better than we are. And of course, corruption, mismanagement, and the lack of vision, I believe, are the root causes of our country underdevelopment. So what I want to do, the reason I want to become president is to transform Liberia.
To what?
That's
why we asked you to how. How are you willing to transform Liberia?
To what? What does he want to transform
it
to?
Into a 21st century modern nation.
What does that mean? How does that happen?
Where our people can be able to take care of themselves no matter what they live. So what's going to drive that transformation is a strong and what I call an unflinching justice system, the rule of law, which will be the guardrails for our democratic system. And of course, sustainable agriculture sector with productions, manufacturing, those kind of stuff. A strong, resilient educational system and healthcare, and of course, critical infrastructure. Those things would be the impetus to start a transformational country, and I believe so.
Sounds very good. Let's start with the rule of law. How do you intend to, give us a better system when it comes to the rule of law?
When you are looking to build a house, you start first with a foundation. And depending on how you lay out your foundation, you're going to know whether you're going to have a better house or not. The rule of law, in my view, is the foundation, the start of a good country. The rule of law, if we can put the rule of law in place, I'll tell you, it's very fundamental. I believe it is the pillar for a strong democratic nation. And that's why the rule of law is essential to our country development. And how do you do that? Because another thing, the rule of law is the guardrails for whatever we do in this country. That is, no one is above the law. No one gets away with impunity. And if you have a strong rule of law president, believe me, what we have in this country will change overnight. And I intend to do that.
How do you intend to change that? Give us an example of what you think is happening and how you're going to change that for the better.
As a simple example would be corruption, for instance, where people gets away with impunity. Under my leadership, no one gets away with impunity, period.
Easier said than done.
Oh, I'll tell you something. My little brother will be embarrassed this night. Since 2000, the year 2000, I've supported so many kids in my neighborhood, Douala, Momotown area. Send them to school from elementary up to college. I'm still doing that today. I didn't do that because of politics. I just feel, you got little stuff that people do. And 2014, I channeled most of the resources through my own brother. And he was using the money. And when I came back 3 months after that, I had him arrested and I locked him up. I went through the proper channel. I didn't take advantage of him because I could have called the police director at that time, who was a friend of mine, to say, I want you to lock my brother up. I didn't do that. I followed the rules, went and made a complaint at the police precinct. And they gave me police officer who went and did investigation and found out that he actually stole the money and he was arrested. My mother was pissed off and I told her stay out of it. And I had him arrested and locked up. And I'll tell you something.
Was he taken to court? And I like to hear the end of the story.
Because
ended a family way. You could have been very angry that he did that to you, and you wanted to show him.
I said no because many of my friends who know me, they will tell you that anger is not William Twitter. And no, I don't show anger. I just believe.
Did your brother have his day in court?
Okay, that's a good question. After him being in jail for about 3 days, they let him out. And I let go.
Why did you let go? Is that how you're going to
Yes,
run
sir.
this country?
No,
Just a follow up to that. You want to straighten the rule of law in the country. You jail your brother for mismanaging the funds, right?
Yeah.
And he did not restitute the fund, and you let him go. So how are you prepared to straighten the rule of law?
Good point. I thought 3 days in jail was sufficient for him. Okay, that's what I thought. 3 days in jail. That does not mean that tomorrow, if William Tweeder is president of this country, people going to get away with stealing. It's not going to happen.
How do you convince me? How do you convince me that if you're president of this country tomorrow, people are not going to get away with impunity? Because you just gave us an example that you didn't follow to the end. You were trying to portray yourself as this person who, believes in the rule of law.
Yes.
Your brother did certain things to you. You didn't take advantage of him. You came back to Liberia. You took him to the police. Police got him arrested. And, he was in jail for the statutory period. The next step was to go to court.
I agree.
You did not take your brother to court because he was your brother.
No,
you were just
that's
an
not
example.
it.
So how do you convince me that you are going to make sure that under your leadership, the rule of law is going to be followed?
It's going to be followed. I can guarantee the people of this country, under my leadership, the rule of law will be followed. I can tell anybody that.
Easier said than done.
The rule of law will be followed when your brother resurrected from taking your money after 3 days, and you didn't care to make sure that he restitute your money.
Okay,
Listen,
so
it took him 6 years
To do what?
come back to me to do that, and that's fine.
Okay. But anyway, the money wasn't.
Okay, so let's go to agriculture then.
That's good. I mentioned agriculture and I mentioned production, right? Because what I'm looking to do, I believe agriculture is the best way right now to get us out of poverty. I believe that because I've seen this happen in other countries.
Okay.
And one example I can give you, Lula, the former president of Brazil 20 years ago, who is now the current president, took 20 million Brazilians out of poverty. And of course, there's other countries, Vietnam, for instance, as well. So I believe we can replicate some of the good things from other countries in our country. And that's why I think agriculture is the way to go. So what we looking to do, we started talking to my leadership. We started talking to community leaders in 6 counties, Bonn, Lofa, Nema, Makibi, Grand Bassa, and Grand Cru, to get acquired a lot of land for agriculture, at least thousands of acres, because this is something we want to do. And I have traveled across, meeting with investors, of course, and I was successful enough to get investors who want to invest in Liberia, at least for the first year, $200 million into agriculture here. Not just, so we are looking to invest in mechanized industrial farming, which of course would include processing and manufacturing facilities.
Processing and manufacturing facilities.
Yeah.
How you agriculture in this country has a lot to do with roads. Did you take roads into consideration?
Yes, we did. Of course, we did.
Okay, so who's our investor ready and waiting to invest 200 million into agriculture?
You say who?
Who are those investors?
No, I cannot say that.
No, but
How do we know whether or not what you're saying to the Liberian people is true?
Oh, it's true because you will see that. No question about it.
That's why I wanted to do a follow up on that.
What happens? Sorry, you come in later. What happens were you not to win the elections? Will the investors go or they'll stay?
That's a good question that I can answer. I know I'm going to win this election, but just to be fair, if I've done, whoever won the election, if that president is willing to open up this country for people like me, you, and every Liberians to come and invest in our country, they will come and invest. The reason I'm saying that, because I've tried to bring investors in this country. The challenges that we've been having, our country out there, everybody is saying this country is corrupt, and no one wants to invest in a corrupt country. So whoever win the election, if they put the rule of law in place, and they open up this country for that way, give investors confidence, then of course, believe me, we're going to bring a lot of people here to invest.
Okay, let me take you back a little bit. You talked about, you named, I think, about 5 or 6 counties where you've told people to acquire land. What happens, to all of the lands, these people are going to get? Were you not to win these elections? Because you have spoken to them, they're getting the land. And if you didn't win the elections, what happens?
Oh, I just say that.
You said, if the person who's going to win the elections, if that person, deals with corruption and that person opens up, that's a precondition. So you've told me or my people in Grand Crew County,
yes,
to get land because you're going to agriculture.
We going to.
What if, the winner doesn't do what you want them to do?
This land that they're getting, it's not going to be for free because we're paying for the land.
What happens to it? Are you going to still invest? And
hold up. We are paying for the land, right? So that means the land is my property, right? So to speak, right?
Or the one day acquiring all of these counties are your personal properties?
Well, it's me and my partners. It's me and my partners, and I have Liberian partners also. So it's me and my partners, right?
Okay.
So if we have a government that do not make the environment conducive for investment, then we will own our property. We're not going to lose that. But I'm saying, in order for investors to invest in any country or anywhere, they must have some confidence to do that.
Totally agree with you. No doubt about that. So you're acquiring all of these lands, and then that's your personal property if you become president. So there will be people will be working on your personal farm as a president, right?
No, that's not the way you're saying it. It's not going to be like that.
Stay in agriculture.
So can you answer that question for me? How is it going to be like?
Oh, simple. It's a company that's going to be my investors, my partner is going to come. Of course, I will have part of the land going to be our own. Part of the land will be my company, but it's not something that, because I only have a certain share in it, it doesn't mean that I'm going to have control
Everything
over that.
they're going to bring now is going to go to your property because you are the one who brought them as a president, because you pay for it, right? You and your partners.
We are paying
you
for
and
it.
your partners. So
Yes.
everything is going, you sitting as the president, and then when you have partners and the land, everything that you do goes to it. So if the government is investing, the government invests in your property.
Well, the government not going to be investing in my property.
How?
Because guess what? We are bringing investors to this country. It's going to be a private investment that's going to be coming in. There's some investment that government is not going to be investing in. Simple as that. Okay?
I don't understand.
Stay on there.
I don't understand because you said that, you told people in these counties you've named to get the land, thousands of acres of land.
Right.
And if you don't win elections, you paying for the land. You and your partners are paying for it. So it's your property.
Yes,
Were
it's
you
part
to
of my
win-
property.
Great. So were you to win elections, it's still your property.
Win or lose, it's still part of my property. Yes.
Of course. So government will be investing in the president's property, right?
No, government
president's
is
property.
not going to invest in the president's property. Government is not going to invest. We bring in partners to come, investors to come and invest. Government have no business to invest in the president's property. We're not going to do that. That's not the kind of country I want to
Yes,
have.
I want to hold you, Mr. Trader. You spoke about agriculture.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a print? Do you have a print on agriculture investment in Liberia, with the exception of having the political intention to be Liberia's president? Because you spoke about education.
Right.
You said you have invested into education to an extent where you are helping Liberian children to go to school.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what about agriculture? Because you have to make a mark. We have to see the visibilities before we give you the space to lead the country. So tell us about agriculture. Where are you when it comes to agriculture?
I'll be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have any agriculture business going on. I just told you the kind of business I have. But I believe in order to take our people out of poverty, whether it's the gold, diamonds, oil that what we're supposed to be having here in the country, I think agriculture is the way to go.
You're not obsessed with how agriculture has been managed and how it can reach out the people. Titi just asked you about roads. Are you taking roads into consideration?
Yes,
you say
of
yes, you're
course,
taking roads
yes.
into consideration.
Yeah.
Now, you are not obsessed with agriculture. You want to be Liberia's president. That's why you were getting involved with agriculture.
Yes. Listen, if you say I'm not obsessed with that, no, that I disagree with that.
Okay.
Of course. You
don't have any farm.
That does not mean I'm not obsessed with it.
How can you prove that?
Well, listen, we're just about to purchase some land, and this happened.
That's not obsession.
Hold up. This, of course, came about before I even decided to run for the presidency.
Okay. Let's go to the next.
Education.
Mm-hmm.
How do you intend to go about
Well, I said that we are looking to transform our nation, right?
Sure.
So in this transformation, of course, you want our children to be educated, to take them from where we are now to a transformation country, Liberia. So what we are looking to do again, there's kids who graduate in high school, even college, cannot even read or actually write here. So we know that. So we want to bring a better educational system for our children. So one thing I've been doing, what we're looking to do is we want to build proper schools with international standards.
You're building new schools?
Yes, we want to build new schools.
Where are you going to build those schools?
Government, my policy, my plans, what we're looking to do is to start building those schools, like 3 in every district, public schools.
3 public schools in every district.
That's our
Going to break
plan.
down the existing
No,
public
we're
schools?
not breaking down anything. We are not breaking down anything.
Okay.
We just want to build, we're just going to build 3 public schools in every district with international standards.
Where do you get the money from?
Good question. We don't have the money here. So what I've been doing is traveling across the world, talking to partners out there to help us do that. And again, I will tell you something. You're probably going to ask me, you have proof. Yes. The truth is, I was somewhere in the Bahamas, that I can tell you. And we met a partner who brought us to somebody else who is looking to raise money for us in the tune of $100 million, okay? Because we want to start showcasing those kind of schools across the country. We are going to go out there to get resources from out. And then, of course, we ourselves, government, cannot stop doing something like that.
$100 million
yes,
for what? For the
to
schools
start
you're going to
building those
what
kind of
does that
schools.
investor get in return?
Oh no, that this here is not anybody who's he's not looking to get anything in return. He's just doing it as a charity.
Who has $100 $100 million dollars
Sister,
to just
people
give
do
to
that.
to Liberia for free?
Guess what?
Uh-huh.
It's my connectivity, my connection. People do that. That you guys probably don't know.
Do you have to be president before you get that kind of money to help your country?
Because I went to them to talk to them. Listen, I'm looking to run for the presidency. This is what I'm looking to do for my country. Okay. And that's how the discussion went.
Okay, so they're going to give you $100 million.
That's a start. That's a start.
Yeah, for status,
yes.
And you're going to build. How many schools do you think $100 million are going to build and furnish to international standards?
Well,
a follow up to that
this.
question would be: after you should have built such a school, is it going to be free?
Oh yes, free. Matter of fact. This is my policy as president. We are going to declare from kindergarten to 12th grade, education or human rights. We want our children to go to school free in this country.
How do you maintain the schools, sir?
We are going to maintain them. I'm telling you, we'll use government funds, of course, to do that. We will try to invest with government funds and be able to maintain some of the schools. We're going to go out there to people that can help us, the international communities and others that can help us to build those schools and help us maintain them to a certain level where government will be able to handle that ourselves.
To education.
And you believe that, anybody listening to you should believe what you say.
100%.
That you're going to build schools to international level.
Yes.
100% free as public schools. And you'll be able to maintain those schools. Government is going to be able to maintain those schools.
Because I'm going to get experts also to help us do that.
On a pro bono basis.
No,
those experts.
They don't have to be on pro bono.
Then you have to pay them. Somebody.
Of course, I say of course. It's not
your phone. I think. No, you can come and get it. Yeah.
No, it's we're going to get experts. Some of them will be on pro bono. Some of them are not going to be on pro bono. But I'm telling you, when I mention $100 million, that would be the start. And I know you guys don't think people can easily donate $100 million to a cause, but I'm telling y'all, people can donate $100 million to a cause.
I believe somebody can do that.
And I know people that have done it.
Sustainability is another thing. If you tell the Liberian people that you're going to build 3 high schools, right, in each district, do you know how many?
Counted. We go in.
It says each district.
But hold up. You're stretching it. Hold up. We have a plan, right?
Okay.
We have a policy. And our policy is to start building 3 schools in every district. That does not mean we're going to build 3 schools right away, but it is the policy that we're going to have. And this can stretch from 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, 6 years, or even more. And that's what we want to do.
Do you mean each district or each county?
Each district, sister, is not hard to do. It is not hard to do. It is not hard.
I'm asking because, people are going to ask you. We have 73 electoral districts.
Oh, yes.
You're talking about electoral districts or
education, Ms. Titi, is key to this nation development, and we have to prioritize that. It is not difficult to build 3 schools in every district of this country. It is not.
Really?
No, it's not.
So the money is just sitting there to do that?
Guess what? I'll find the money.
Where are you gonna find it?
The 100 million.
The 100 million is already there. But I'm telling you, as your president, I'm going to find the money.
And what if you don't find it?
I'll find it.
What if you don't find it?
I will find it. That I know.
That's the thing about it. You're already president, so you're already president. And if you don't find the money, there's nothing we can do until after 6 years, and then we have to prove you.
Exactly.
Guess what? If I don't, okay, let me make this clear to the listening audience.
Okay.
Because I'm here to speak to the listening audience.
Sure.
So let me make it clear. We are looking to build 3 schools in every district of this country. And this would be a gradual process. I am not telling the listening audience that tomorrow William Tudor is the president and he's not going to build 3 schools right away. What, 3 times 73?
It's
That's
219.
Saying.
219
Thank you
schools.
for the math. For the math.
Yeah, math.
That's not what I'm saying. You get what I'm saying.
I get that, sir.
But it would be a start if we are serious about educating our children. If we are serious about educating our kids, if we are serious about taking this country from the bottom up, education is the way to go. And it is my policy, something that I believe in that we must do.
Healthcare.
Yes, before we go to health, this question, I don't want to let it slip out. You're talking about educational investment, Mr. Twitter. You're talking about building 3 schools in each district. The government has government schools that need to be upgraded. That we talk about the science laboratory. We talk about the infrastructure. We talk about a lot of things. There are other government institutions, right, in the country that has got a bit of limitation. Look at NIMBA, Bong, LUFA, and all of that. Government institutions are there. You bring in 100 million to invest in education. You're talking about building new schools. I thought you should be talking about rehabilitating and improving the already existed government schools before you go to building new schools.
Brother, I'm Mr. Washington, right?
Mr. Topper.
Mr. Topper.
Why you laughing? Good.
I'm not about rescuing Liberia. I'm not about fixing Liberia.
Can you speak to the mic, please?
Yes, speak to the mic.
I am not about rescuing Liberia. I am not about fixing Liberia. I am about transforming Liberia. So these old schools you're talking about, they're below standards.
You want to get rid of them?
We are going to build. We are about transformation. And when you transform something, you change things around. Okay. So
yeah, that's your water.
Okay. And that's what we're about.
No, Mr. Twitter. So the government has already built schools. You know, there are existing schools already. So when the Liberian children, the school going populace, are going to wait for President Twitter, if you win the elections, to build 219 schools all in the country before they start going to school and having quality education.
No, that's, you can be serious to say that, because that's not what I'm saying. You can be serious to say that. Let's be real. All right?
How we real here?
Okay. I just told you. Okay.
It's going to take time to build the schools.
That's what I said earlier.
And education is not.
That's what I'm saying earlier.
No, that doesn't necessarily mean that people are not going to go to school.
Exactly.
People are going to go to school.
People are going to go to school.
If you change schools.
Guess what? If you have your house right now you're living in, and you are looking to build a modern house, does that mean you would stay on the street, brother?
No.
Okay. So it's the same thing. It doesn't mean the kid's not going to.
Who's just looking at you improving the already existing government school?
No, I can't do that.
Oh,
okay, let's go to health.
They existing government school don't have inequality for our kids. That's why our kids are not reading or doing anything better.
Let's talk about
as much as I agree with you, it doesn't have any existing quality, but that's what we have now. You as a president, even if you want to change that, like you said earlier, you're not going to do that in 1 month or 1 year. It's going to take time. So even during your presidency, they're still going to use those existing
That's my
structures.
point. That's my point.
So my thing is, if you say where it's you write it off, but you will be president and people will still
be going to the already old
those
schools.
Listen,
That's my point.
what I'm here to tell you guys is look at the bigger picture. All right, look at the bigger picture. That's all I can say.
And Rome
So
wasn't
let's
built
move
in
on.
one
Exactly,
day. So,
exactly. That's my point. You're making my point.
no, I'm not making your point.
I
want
think you are.
I want
So
you
let's
to
go.
know.
We shouldn't
Okay,
argue
let's
on
go
that.
to
Okay, yeah,
health.
yeah, we're gonna talk
Let's
about
go to
that.
health. Let's go to health.
So health, the contribution, how you intend to improve the health sector.
Well, if you look at the health sector around here, it's similar to the school system. Okay, we don't have quality hospitals and stuff like that. Many of our people today, they are dying on a daily basis. Every time I open my my phone, go on Facebook, for instance, there's always RIP, rest in peace, some young person dying. These are things.
They're only dying from Liberia, right?
Are we talking about Liberia, sister?
But even if
So-
the United States, where you come from,
we are
people
talking-
don't die there because
we
you
are
went to
talking-
Facebook. That's what I'm asking you.
we-
People
no,
die
no.
everywhere around the world, sir.
What country in question here?
It doesn't matter
No,
because
what
you don't
country
pick among
in question
people.
here?
Still, you of Facebook.
Be real
We're talking
now.
about Liberia. I agree with you.
Fine.
But
So my passion right now is with my country, seeing my countrymen, our children, our brothers and sisters dying from some curable diseases. That's what I'm concerned about.
I agree with you, sir. But when you say you go on Facebook and you see people dying on a daily basis, then
Yes,
it
it is my
you're-
country I'm talking about. I'm not talking about
okay.
U.S. or any other country.
But you agree with
It is
me
my
that people
country.
die everywhere around
No,
the world.
I think you're trying to stretch it, and don't do that.
You agree with me that people die around the world.
Don't do that.
How am I going to
Be
stress
fair.
that?
Be a fair journalist. Don't do that.
Am I not fair when I
Go
say
ahead.
that people die around the world on
Don't
a daily
You're being
basis?
unfair. You're being unfair.
Don't people die around the world every day?
Listen, we are talking about Liberia. You asked me a question. What do you want to do about the health system?
Okay,
You didn't say across the world. You said Liberia.
agreed.
Agreed that
So we
it's
stick to
Liberia,
Liberia,
but
okay?
you go on Facebook and you say people
Facebook
die
is a
on
global
daily
social.
I'm
basis.
talking about Facebook looking at
The
Liberia.
Liberian Associates.
Yeah, let's move on.
Okay.
Okay, so can you just continue to speak to the mic?
Yeah.
Yes, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Because you're
I'm sorry.
mostly off mic. So we're still on the health of our country.
So based on that,
Mhm.
definitely we're going to improve the health system in this country
Okay.
because it pities me that many of our big shots are going to other countries for medical reasons. And majority of our people in this country don't have the opportunities to do that. So what I plan to do, what we plan to do, is definitely to invest into our health sector.
How do you intend to do that?
Well, it's the same thing. Raising money to start with, working with international organizations that will help us start this process to make sure the money that we're going to get, we can actually invest into our health sector instead of using this money for our own pockets, like
So,
people been doing in this country.
Okay, you were specific when it came to education that you want to build, 3 schools in.
Oh yes, we are
When it-
going to build health facilities around the country as well. We are going to do
Are we
that.
How
doing
many
it by
health
district?
facilities do you
We are
intend
going to do that.
build?
Are we doing it by
And do
district?
you have specific, areas where you're looking to put these?
Well,
facilities?
one of the first things we're looking to do
Mhm.
is to actually equip the JFK hospital, transform that JFK hospital, Phoebe hospitals. We don't want to have hospitals that are going to be white elephant, where there's nothing there at all. So we want to start with that. But definitely, we are going to build health facilities,
A quick
hospitals
follow-up.
across.
You are talking about equipping JFK and the rest of the old hospitals that are in the country, but you're not willing to equip the other old schools that you talk about.
Because the schools, I'll be honest with you, we're going to change those schools.
Okay, go ahead.
Let's go back to health. And when last were you at the JFK hospital?
Not for any medical reasons, but I would say 20th Street, where you have, I think it used to be the Japanese hospital. Yes, I was there about 3 days ago.
Okay. What did you observe in following your observation?
Not actually in the hospital, but right at the entrance.
Oh, you just stopped at the
Yes,
entrance.
I stopped at the entrance to buy something.
Okay, so you
phone cards.
Okay, so you want to equip JFK. You have not been there for a very long time. What do you think is lacking there that you want to put there?
Well, look, last time, and I think that's a good question. Last time I was at a hospital was my mom, who was sick, I think maybe 5 or 6 years ago. And I know we lack medical equipment like the MR machines, those kind of stuff. That way, people they can use to examine people adequately. We don't have those systems, and I believe that those equipments, and I think that's why many of our people are going and doing medical tourism in other countries. So we're going to get our health experts, sit down with them, and tell us what exactly we need to change.
So you were at the JFK
situation.
5 or 6 years ago. So you're just assuming that there is no MRI at the JFK.
Not just MRI, sister, but I know for a fact there's a lot of stuff missing at these hospitals.
And I know you're not going to like that, but do you think it's a fair, thing to do when you haven't visited the hospital to know exactly what they have or what they don't have, and you assume that they don't have it, and so you're going to put it there?
The one thing I know for a fact, that we are not equipped enough with our hospitals in this country.
And you don't even know to what extent we are, equipped in this country.
Like I say, the one thing I know, we are not fully equipped. That I can tell you that.
JFK has what you think they don't have.
That's good.
Okay, I know we don't have much time. We have to open up the lines. Let's hear about what you have done in this country. I hear you talk about helping other presidential candidates who did not meet your expectation, and as a result, you want to do for your people. But what else have you done personally? For Liberia, Liberians. Let's hear about that.
Thank you. I have been involved in Liberia for a long time. This country, we all love our country dearly. In the 1990s, when the war started here, I was one of those in the U.S. who lobbied the U.S. government for ECMO to come to this country. I was one of those. I worked with General George to Washington and some other Liberians to get the President George H.W. Bush and members of the U.S. Congress to have the U.S. military to come here and help stop the war. And of course, we went back and forth with that. The U.S. would not allow their military to come in because at that time, too, there was the Gulf War with Iraq and the U.S. So they came up with, look, if you guys can put an African military forces together, well, we will have to pay. So I was involved in that.
Okay.
I was part of that. In 2003, I was also involved in a Akasomo peace process. I negotiated with the rebels to stop the war, negotiated with Lord rebel models, even Chastilla government to stop the war. I was involved in that. Didn't care about government posts. I just wanted to help my country. That's what I did. And even in the rebuilding of the military, the army here, the U.S. The guys who were responsible, the military guys who were responsible, contacted me, and I also play a role in rebuilding the military. Those are things that I thank God I did for my country. And it's not because I want to run for president. I didn't care about that. I just wanted to help my country.
Which is a very good thing, and we must applaud you for that if you did that for your country. Liberia is a country where when you're running for any seat in the land, and I'm sure you know about that, people want to see, physical tangibles, how you've affected their lives. I want you to talk about, how it has been for you during these, campaign period. Where is your stronghold? How are people being receptive to you?
My stronghold, I would say, my political stronghold is the Liberian people. That I believe that. And I'll tell you why. The Liberian people, for the last 6 years, has been very painful for them. And they, I believe, want a president who's going to go stay up at night thinking about how their president can create jobs for them so they can be able to take care of their families. They can pay their children's school fees. They can put food on the table. They will have money to go to the doctors. That's the kind of president the Liberian people are looking for. They want a president who's going to be up at night thinking about how their president will be able to build roads from Brambassa to the southeast, from Bon County to Lofa. That's the kind of president they want.
And do you think that they think that you are that person?
I'm 100% sure that I'm going to.
What makes you so sure?
Because I'm sure of myself, and I'm not being arrogant. Because I know
you're sure of yourself, but being sure that you have to convince the people.
And I have been doing that. So for this reason, when you ask me my stronghold, right? That's what you said. I myself, I came from a moderate poor background, and I understand the pains of the Liberian people. I grew up with my parents and 7 other brothers and sisters, who were 8 in the family. I came from that background, grew up in a Zen house with an outside bathroom. So I understand what our people are going through. And I can say this again. I can identify and I know what they have. And that is why I believe that my stronghold is the Liberian people.
It's easy to, you can know what I'm going through. And I can know that you come from a very poor background and what have you. But how convinced am I that you who have come from that, very poor background are going to change my life is another thing. I have to be convinced that you can do that. But if you say to me that the Liberian people know, that, I can do that, I believe they know that, then...
No, I say I know I can do that.
Yeah, but how do
they don't know. Yes, but I know for a fact they want a president who's going to stay up at night thinking about them.
Do they know
Who's
that
gonna
you
put-
are that person?
It is my job to convince them, and that's what I'm doing.
Pray to get upon your thunderbolt. But to go to this question, because I know we're almost to the line, women participation in politics is very important.
Yeah.
How have you been able to work with women when it comes to supporting their political ambitions? And how many women are you supporting on your ticket?
We have about 4 women on our ticket. From what I heard, that many of the parties usually charge people to go on their ticket. And I told Mr. Keita, who is our Secretary General, that I don't want anybody, this party shouldn't charge any of our representative candidates. And I told him that I wanted us to go after our sisters, the women, to bring them on our party. And that was my official statement to all of our officials.
So with the obsession of bringing them on your party ticket, how have you been able to work with them for the last 10, 15, 20 years? Have you been able to organize a women, organization, been able to empower women, been able to sponsor women ideology? What have you been able to do with women?
Well, the one thing I can tell you, many of the majority of the young people on my scholarship that I had from since 2000, many of them have been girls, okay? Because now we are out there politically, and I'm the kind of guy who believe in level of playing field. I'll tell you something. When we got our party headquarters, right? Sometimes in March. So I came in and there was a meeting at the party headquarters. This new party headquarters we got. When I walked in, I saw a bunch of guys and, a bunch of guys like swimming, and I was like, this is not what I want to see. So it is my passion. There's a start for everything, as I believe. And I told our female candidates and even the guys that today I wanted us to have more women coming on our party tickets than there's guys. It didn't happen this time, but next time we're going to make sure, and that was my promise to our women candidates. I told our Secretary General and our Chairman, I say, how many women we have as chairmen across the country, the 15 counties? Yeah. And they told us, we got 1. I said, no, we got 0. And I said, no, that's not going to work, please. And today it's a gradual process, but we have 2 women now as chairperson of our
Do you have offices in all of the counties?
Except for 4, but he's going to be taking care of that.
Where's your campaign schedule? Where are you campaigning? When are you going to Grand Crew?
Oh, good question. Why Grand Crew in particular?
You're from Grand Crew. My mother is from Grand Crew, so I'm interested.
Where if you mind asking your mom?
No, she passed.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah, my mom passed 2 years ago too.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No, I'm going to the Southeast by next weekend because I am dying to go back there. I'm going there.
Okay.
So we're going to go through Bassa, River says, and I'm hearing that the roads are terrible. We're not going to use cars. And I said, I will use motorbikes, and we're going. Yeah, I've done that.
Okay, that's a
Seriously,
good one.
I've done that.
Let's go to the lines.
Let's go to the lines and take your calls.
Yeah,
And 0880514096. The numbers to call, and the voice you're listening to is Mr. William W. Tweeder, presidential candidate. Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Go ahead.
You see, I didn't see a Caesar guy, let us see the guy. Mr. Way small after That's why we are 2029 should be done with 100 million.
Thank you. Good evening. Good evening. Go ahead, sir. What's your name and where you come from? Sir, stop listening to the monitor, but listen to the phone, please. Let's just leave you and take another person.
Listen to the phone, please.
Good evening.
Hello?
Good evening, sir. What's your name and where you call from?
How you doing?
We're fine.
This is Joseph Dazo.
Go ahead, Joseph. Let's leave you there. Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Hello?
Hello?
Hello?
Good evening, Washington TV.
Good evening.
Yeah, man, you saw a couple of the same of food. And your personal the mental education health. And I see the person that we saw my family. They just were thinking and president the back also.
Thank you. Good evening. Hello?
Good evening.
Good evening, sir. Go ahead quickly.
Hello?
Hello, go ahead.
Okay. My name is Jackson Mbiri and I join you from Benafam.
Go ahead, sir.
Okay, I got concerned when the honorable man spoke of himself as a used clothes wholesaler. And now I'm concerned as a used clothes seller too. I want to know some of those used clothes stores that the honorable man owns right now in Liberia.
Oh, okay. So you can get this question down. Good evening. Hello? Good evening, sir.
Thank you. My name is Morgan Basana Lake, and I join you from Ghana this evening.
Go ahead, sir.
Actually, I listened to the honorable man. Let me say good evening to my leader, Honorable William Twitter. I think he spoke well, but one thing I noticed during the conversation, I think the lady in studio there, the journalist, never did well. She couldn't give the honorable man a chance to explain. And then when he tried to explain, she would hijack and saying that he should confuse or keep saying confuse. We know the background. We're not sure that never came down to confuse you individually. He came there to confuse the Liberian people. So I think you should give me a chance. Let him speak to the Liberian people. You are just a host, or you continue to make the show like a debate. I think you are not doing well.
Thank you.
Am I from Ghana?
Hello? From Ghana, from
okay.
Nigeria.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Your points were clear. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir. What's your name and where you call from?
This is Joseph Conway calling from District Number 6, Maserado County.
Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, thank you. I want to greet the studio guest, Mr. Tudor. Actually, Mr. Tudor is one of the persons that some of us try to evaluate to become a kind of authority soul in terms of leadership. But what I really want you to understand is the theme of leadership when it comes to politics. You need to look at the team. What do that mean? There are people that are still sitting on the scene, especially some of us from the CDC background, where we were disappointed with some other team members. John Ware is a good person to admit. But there are some leaders within the CDC.
Mama, go to the point.
Mama,
go to the point.
Go to the point.
Yeah, the issue. Now, people are looking for authority soul. And within the leadership that he has also, we have a saying that says, if you are talking about equity, you should come with clean hands. So there are things that you need to evaluate within that is in your circle. The level of Secretary General that you spoke about, all right? Ishmael Keita is one of the persons you have to evaluate clearly. There's a lady you ask him about lady, empowerment. There's a lady about Juno from District Number 9 who wanted to have run even on that party ticket. It became an obstacle to that lady. Okay? Up to this time, it became problem.
Okay, thank
Okay,
you.
thank you. He will respond to that. Good evening. Hello.
Good evening. Yeah, good evening, Washington, and good evening, City.
Go ahead, Armstrong.
Yeah, thank you for the recognition. And let me say good evening to your studio guest. I listened to him speak on the issue of 100 million and making Liberia self-sufficient to feed herself. But I think it's not doing all justice. He said that he supported all people and even President We. I think this time around, our election these days is not about what you will do. It's what I have done and what I still will do. Because we're judging people now according to your past record. Let me just remind him, we did not vote for George Weah because he played football for Liberia. No. We voted for George Weah because we were in refugee camp. We will look back, we will one day see George Weah. These are the people we are looking for. And my question to him is, if he's not elected, will he be willing to work with President Weah after a re-election and bring out 100 million to develop Liberia? That's my question.
Thank you. Good evening. Can you stop listening to the monitor instead of the phone, please?
Hello.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah. Good evening, Sister T and your co-host.
Go ahead.
Good evening to the studio guest. My name is Brother Jeremiah Fiawe. I joined the conversation on this number 6. You know what the studio guest is saying is making sense, right? There was no doubt that Liberia does not have money to do these things. The reason is that the corrupt leaders have been the one that serve as an obstacle to those things. And you giving an individual 30,000 and you giving individual 10,000, 8,000, one person and you paying $40 Don't you think when you cut those money down, you can enable you to do the things? You can do it when you get good leader. But just that, now his time. You got to wait for Isaiah Benedict coming. In 2029, maybe we can look into that. Thank you for putting me in the time.
Okay, thank you. Good evening. 0880514096. The numbers. Our special studio guest tonight is Mr. William Tweed. Good evening.
Good evening. How you doing? I'm Joseph Tattoo Clark. I'm calling from Thinker.
Go ahead, sir.
I have listened to the studio guest. It's so pathetic to hear people saying building new infrastructure about that has to do with hospitals. That we have all one, we should maintain them. We are in this country. Their hospitals are here, but the president was able to build a new hospital. And to revamp the hospital, people want to argue it cannot be revamped. They are already equipped. I'm dying slowly. I'm seeing a lot of people living for here going to Ghana for hospital. I'm seeing people going to Nigeria for treatment. What can't we say to revamp this thing like the standard of DNA is free to have a better hospital? Thank you, man. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Good evening. What's your name and where you call from?
Yeah, this is Joseph Dalton.
Go ahead, Joseph. Where you calling from?
This is Joseph Dalton calling from 77.
Go ahead, Joe.
Yeah, thank you, bro. What you doing? Yeah, I listened to your studio guest. He did well. Well, let him keep it on later and wait for President. We are after his 12 years, then he can come back later.
Thank you.
Good
evening.
Yeah, good evening. How are you doing? And good evening to your studio guest, Honorable William We are Twitter, my political leader.
What's your name and where you call from?
I'm Abraham G. Kamara, the county chairperson for the Democratic National Alliance, Grand Kitman chapter, and I do call you from our head office in Kitman.
Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, I would first of all like to say thank you to our honorable man for appearing, and thanks to you, the studio host. Our political leader, Honorable Twitter, is one with just few words, but all action, and we do believe that through his instrumentality, we can come up with something good and better for Liberia. He is a leader, the long-awaited leader we all have been yearning for, a leader who can bring the change we all have been hoping for. He is well connected, and he have the belief and thinking of our people on mind. So I say today to the people of Liberia, vote Honorable Twitter, and your vote will not
Thank
be
you, sir.
wasted. You're going to see a dividends.
Thank you. Good evening. Good evening, sir. What's your name and where you call from?
Yeah, Kamaya Namwe.
Come, you have the platform. Go ahead, please. The other people want to make their points.
Kamaya Namwe. Yeah,
Listen to the phone.
Kamaya Namwe. I want to commend my candidate. My candidate, I want to commend. Very good, thank you. Hello.
Very good, thank you. Good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
We're fine. How are you doing, sir?
I'm working on the for this is 17. Let me comment the studio guest. You spoke of rule of law. Honestly, in the outside of rule of law, we can never have any investment to let's say or for the country, or for the country to really achieve. So let me very commenting. We need to start from somewhere to see ourselves moving another place. I mean, I'm commenting very much for the whole thing.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. I think he's still on the line. He's still on the line. Good evening. Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Welcome.
Good evening. I called from Granite Mountain. I'm Momo Kamara.
Okay,
I
Mama.
want to say thank you for the program today. I really enjoyed it. And I want to ask a few questions, sir.
Go ahead. That's why you called.
The question is about feeding ourselves or eating what we grow. What is the honorable man's own plan? Usually when we say agriculture, like bro, we may think about maybe rice or what. But for us who are in the agriculture sector now, branching to the animal husbandry, raising animals, including poultry, what is his plan for us? Instead of like bro, continuing to import dead chicken and dead meat products on. So what is his plan? That we in Liberia can grow animals and provide a protein that we need for consumption.
What's your plan for those who are growing animals? Good evening. Hello. Welcome, sir. What's your name and where you come from?
Thank you. My name is Banga Sources Wira. Thank you. My name is Banga Sources Wira. So I join you from Looking Camp.
Go ahead.
Yeah, let me quickly comment on Twitter. You still there. You know, the law with the questions that have been asked all the time by citizens. If you don't want George Weah, who do you think? And the answer is right before you on Twitter is the answer to that question. And we believe that no one will ever ask that question again because of Twitter is the man. Let me tell you about the rule of law. Though, he didn't mention something. When Mr. Twitter speak about the rule of law, you know, it's contact war in they went through the process of the rule of law and they went to jail. So when he's talking about the rule of law,
He jailed his county coordinator. Is that what you're saying?
Hello?
Did he jail his county coordinator? Is that what you're saying?
The county coordinator was found with fraud. He was fully investigated, sent to court, and went to jail. So the issue about corruption does not exist in the DNA and that in Twitter.
Thank you.
For that.
Thank you very much. We take maybe one more call and we'll go back to him. Good evening, sir. Welcome. What's your name and where you call from?
Okay, my name is J. Zachariah Lord. I'm from GS0.
Go ahead, Zachariah.
I'm a little bit doubt, and I think the honorable man for deliberation will have a bit doubt because he is saying that when he comes to the new school and we have government school around the country and there's no good improvement, so we need improvement. And then he's talking about building new school. Then where will he take the funding from to build school? Why then he put the funding that be hard now on the other schools so that you bring it to the center.
Thank you. There are how many concerns, and we have roughly about 10 minutes.
Yeah, let's take two more calls.
Good evening, sir.
Is it ELBC?
This is ELBC. Go ahead. What's your name and where you calling from?
I understand from your show that it is Twitter that is studio.
I think you just like you are even following the conversation. Good evening.
Okay, this is actually him getting once again, like, joining from Japan. The government president spoke of helping in a rebuilding process of the military. And I want to know in what way was he helpful to that process. I also want to appeal to the honorable man that after the election, let us assume he does not win. Liberia will still remain in Liberia, and then those plans that he's making, we pray that it's not only when he's president before we do them. And you consider that.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, thank you. Are we taking the last call? Good evening.
Is it ELBC?
This is ELBC. I think you're the same person call. Let's go back to you. And before we conclude this, someone is asking, what are you doing to help your female candidates? I think someone prominent sent me that message. A prominent female sent me that message. What are you doing to help your female candidates?
I would like them to simplify that and give little details as to what they mean by
in terms of areas. You're talking about simplification now. Probably you the one pay, the registration fees, and you are helping them to get some pickups, doing some campaigns, and all of that.
I believe, like I always stress out, I believe in justice. Justice is not just grabbing people and locking them up. Justice is about fairness. It's about equality. Our female candidates, along with our male candidates, we are looking to help them to the fullest.
Okay.
And in due time, they will get the full support they need. So we are not distinguishing female candidates from male candidates. Everybody will deal with them on the same level.
You have some concerns that we have. We're running out of time.
Yes. Well, look, a gentleman mentioned about Ishmael Keita. The one thing I can say about that, I have full confidence in his work. I don't know who that gentleman was. Here in our country, we always have complaints about everything, but I do have full confidence in his work for DNA.
Okay.
And
so you believe the woman wasn't trampled upon?
No, not in any way. Not in any way. Matter of fact, Keita was the one who came to me and advocated that we must have at least 8 women as our chairpersons across the country. So there's no way. We want the best for all of our people, our women, everybody. I have 4 girls. Nobody mess with women, and I'm going to tolerate that. It's not going to happen. And Keita did not do that. But guess what, brother? We all know we complain for every little thing. And if you're going to consume yourself with complaints, you won't get anywhere.
The questions are before you, sir. Can you respond to them?
All right. Some of the questions before me. The gentleman mentioned about in the absence of rule of law, nothing happens. I want the Liberian people to understand that gentleman is right. The rule of law is the foundation of a successful country. I don't care what you do. People are talking about where Mr. Twitter bring his investors, where he invests in Liberia if he doesn't win. And I know we will win. But just in case, if we have whoever wins this election, if they put the rule of law in place, they make the environment credible for investors, definitely will be investing, because I know what I've been doing. I have traveled Europe, I have traveled the US, Japan, to bring investors in this country, and it was the same thing. Too much corruption. The US government that we always go to ask for help, the American people, their ambassadors came here and told us your government is stealing from the mouth of children. Look, we can only convince people to come and join us. But guess what? If people want to go with the devil, then no, that's fine. But the news I have for you, the devil is the devil, and the devil not going to do anything for you. The devil always kill people. You better go with the angel that you claim you don't know, but because angel come from God.
And you are that angel.
I am.
You're Angel Gabriel, right?
Angel Twitter.
Angel William Twitter.
Angel William Twitter. A new angel has been created.
Okay.
The question for you.
You still got more questions?
Well, no, I tell you what, I just concluded the whole question, man, because it's the same thing.
Oh, okay.
It's the same thing.
Okay.
Okay.
Somebody mentioned.
Yes, if you can come up with something.
No,
yes.
I'm just doing a follow-up on
Yeah,
what
that's
you
good.
said
That's
earlier.
good.
Somebody talked about your Secretary General, right?
Mhm.
And complained to your Secretary General.
Mhm.
And your response to that person was, people complain in this country.
Yes.
Is that how you're going to run the country?
Oh, my sister, we got to nip things in the bud. We're not going to, let me tell you this. Let me say this to you. I am not going to pacify people. I'm not. This country going to be a law and order country.
You call that pacifying?
Yes, we are not. I have confidence in him, and that's it. If Keita does wrong, believe me, we will put him in his place.
If he does what you believe is wrong, and
No.
not what other
No,
people
no. You see,
assume is wrong.
somebody
right?
mentioned
Mhm.
that what you've been doing here is trying to debate me. Don't debate me. Be the host of the show.
I'm asking
Let me
you a
speak
question,
to the
sir.
Liberian people. Stop debating me. You're not running for office here.
Do I have to run
Be
for
the
office
host.
before I ask you a question?
No, you're debating me.
No,
You're
sir.
debating me.
No.
End
I
the
am
show
not.
so we
I'm
can go.
asking
It's
you a
almost time.
question.
You move on, brother.
No, I think
Hold on,
she
hold on.
has a
I
question.
asked you a question because you want to lead this country.
I
And
answer
somebody
the question.
called in on the show who is a Liberian, and they had a problem with your Secretary General.
I
Your
just answered.
response to that prompted my question. I am not debating with you. I'm
So,
asking you a question
listen,
because
I-
you want
and
to
I
run this
answer
country,
your
sir.
question.
And but so
And I
why
answer your
you answered
question.
my question? So why do you make it look like I'm debating with you? I have
Because
to
somebody
ask you
said that and it
questions.
was
So,
right.
so because somebody
In your-
said that,
you
But it was
assume that-
right. It was right, though.
how do you
Sir,
know that?
You have
Because
to
I'm-
answer
You have to be
hard
quick.
questions.
You have to be quick. That's
And I
why
want to be quick.
No, you don't
You
want.
think I won't? I've been
We
here
are
for more
quizzing-
than an hour.
we're quizzing
I've
you.
been here for more than an hour.
Agree.
Don't you think that I allow you guys to question me, that I've been quizzed?
But then
You
accept
don't
the
think
question,
so?
sir.
Of course, I answer
Then you're
questions.
buying into the perception of the caller who called and
Because
said
they
we
were right. Because they were right.
Because
Let's
they
move
support
on.
you, so they were right.
Let's
Mr.
move on.
Tweeter.
Let's move on.
Well, let's get your parting comments.
Mr.
We're
Tweeter,
out
I
of
think
time.
we're out
Yeah,
of time.
let's
So
get your parting
you listened to this. I mean, you were interviewed and you listened to the callers. And what would be your parting words? We have just a minute.
Okay, thank you,
end the show.
Titi.
Yes, sir.
Miss Titi, let me say that. Thank you very much. And brother, thank you too for the interview. I think it was also informative, allowing our people to know who we are. The truth of the matter is, I will end it by saying the same statement I just made about the devil and the angel. Okay? We are looking to move our country forward. It's not going to be easy. But for me, I'm a man of justice. And I believe the best way forward for our country is to have a president who believes in the rule of law. I thank you all. Let's put Liberia first. My motto is country before self. I thank you all.
Thank you very much. He's William W. Tweeter, A beautiful show.
Mr. Twitter, thank you so much for taking up your time to sit with us this evening on Open Conversation. We wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Join us, God willing, tomorrow for another edition of our Open Conversation. Have a pleasant evening.
It's a good one. Yeah. Bye-bye.
From the east to the west, north to the south, girl, let's come together as one. They say you're not there, we stand, but there we fight. If we're not